Hey loves, how are you? This morning when I woke up, I got guided to do a divine sacred masculine check-in today. And usually, for those of you that have been here with me, usually I have some form of a pulse on the collective, at least that I connect with. But since the eclipse and the major timeline shifts, I've actually just been like free flowing as I'm landing for myself. So I haven't gotten a deep pulse on where the collective is, but that's what I'm gonna do here with you right now. So we're gonna do this real in real time and just see where the masculines are, what they want to share, how things are going, where they're landing in the new energy, and anything that might be supportive or helpful for the masculines here on the channel and any of you watching, of course. All right. So just give me a moment. Like I said, I'm just reconnecting in with the collective and where they are now. The first card out was the High Priestess. And with the Two of Wands and the Knight of Swords, I am sensing an energy coming together, but this does not feel like the full message. I'm getting this the masculines are taking time to deepen into their internal connection, like really sorting through what's true for them, which we were getting over the last few weeks and months. It does feel like as they're really dropping into what's true for them, there's this realization that there is a lot more that they have wanted for themselves and for their lives than they realized. It feels to me within this is maybe, they've been moving forward, living their life, doing what they thought they were intended to do or what they should be doing based on what they were told. And what I'm sensing is that although that was all okay in whatever way or whatever reason, um, it feels important to just acknowledge that there's nothing necessarily wrong with those trajectories per se, but there's this very deep energy and understanding coming up that this is not the be all end all. There's this realization that there's a lot of potential that's missing. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle and the potential that's going unnoticed. But there, as this internal energy is being activated, this realization is coming to the surface. And with this Knight of Swords coming, it feels like as this realization settles in and as they gain clarity on these realizations and what's coming through, and what I mean by that is like they're waking up to these realizations like, oh my goodness, there's this and there's that. And I'm getting this sense that it's almost like the veils were lifted or the membranes came off and they started to remember things that they always wanted deep down, maybe in childhood or as a teenager or growing up. There was like these dreams or these hopes, this energy that they wanted to experience and feel in their life. And to be honest, what's really coming through in this moment is this deep partnership, this deep, loving partnership, someone to build a true, genuine life and connection with is what's coming forth. There was something in the essence and the energy. I'm sure many of you can probably relate to going back to your younger days, like sort of before of that time where you had your first love, where you were opening up and wanting to experience love and starting to think about those types of relationships and things, as we're sort of coming of age. There's this sort of essence within this energy that's coming through right now. And I sense that once things click in, there's going to be some movement forward towards what it is that they want. I'm actually being guided to separate these cards out and pull some in between cards to see what might be occurring during this process between realizing that there's more that they've wanted, allowing it to really come to the surface and feel deeper into that. And what I'm getting is for any of you watching here, even for the feminines that are here watching, I like this message. There's something about it that feels very supportive around bringing all of those dreams and our original soul blueprint to the table. Okay, so I feel like the masculines are giving us a window into what's happening within them, within their heart and within their process. But I'm also feeling guided to share with the feminines this map and these magazines here are now speaking to me about those remembrances of the original core soul blueprint. And it's coming through to allow yourself some space and grace to maybe reconnect with yourself throughout your childhood and remember back to some of those pure and innocent times before the pain, before the hurts, like when you just had that innocent remembrance of the love that you wanted in your life. There's something about that, and it's not about necessarily going back to those times, but it is about retrieving that innocence and that truth and that love within yourself, within your heart. This feels very significant for the whole collective. I can feel it within my own being that it's about returning back to those pure times of remembering when we could open our heart and we didn't have the defense mechanisms and the protective mechanisms. But the difference now is that you actually have the experience and the knowing and you're at least learning how to properly and appropriately protect yourself through healthy boundaries and healthy standards and self-love now. So as you're dropping in the results of that, it's supportive to sort of go back to get this part of your inner child's soul, heart and soul retrieval. Gorgeous. Holy wowza, masculines. Beautiful work. Thank you for bringing this message through. This is gorgeous. Okay. I'm gonna use the other light seer deck and pull between the Two of Wands and the Knight of Swords and see what else wants to come through. Oh, one fell out. Let's see what we got. Y'all are gonna laugh. The Knight of Swords. That came out twice, the smaller version. Okay. The way it fell in my lap, this is kind of bringing me back to last week when I said like things are gonna start falling in your lap. This piece around going back to that inner child heart retrieval, heart essence retrieval for yourself. This feels really important and significant. This is going to be a key piece to allowing, obviously, a deeper level of the internal union, but it feels like a very important piece for the collective, for the divine feminine masculine twin flame divine counterpart collective, which I know we haven't talked about this a lot because we've been so deep in some of the other subjects, but maybe this is where we're going to be moving, which is super exciting because it's the divine and sacred inner child, our inner child that holds the keys and the pieces to the map, to our original core soul blueprint that returns us to those states of remembering why we're here. The sacred children, the inner child, the sacred inner child heart holds the keys to sacred union, my loves. Okay. This is really big. I can feel it. And as this is coming through, I kind of had a big feeling that I'm going to be talking more about this in the coming days as we move forward. Okay, so two came. We got the Queen of Wands and the Emperor. Wow. So it's speaking to me right away about the divine feminines here watching. Obviously, the masculines as well, but it feels like the masculine collective is sort of pointing this out to the feminines in this state of asking the divine feminines to dive deeper into her heart, into this pocket of her own inner sacred child heart, and remembering her internal magic and her love in a deeper way. And it feels like what I'm seeing is like the masculine's bringing through this essence, right? And it's like coming out through her. So again, it's like where these energies are working together, and it might seem like the masculine is looking the other way, but he's actually holding space to allow this heart transformation to occur and to expand. And what I'm sensing and feeling, which is the energy I was picking up not only in yesterday's video, but also, like I said, the one from the powerful eclipse corridor, I can see and sense within this sacred feminine, if she opens her heart, there is all of this blossoming and blooming and growth inside of her that she hasn't even necessarily realized is there inside of her. I feel what I'm sensing. This is coming in deeper between both the masculine and feminines. This is a message for both. And what I'm sensing is that both masculines and feminines have been growing way more internally than they've realized. And what I'm sensing is they both got so in their own lane, in their own business, in their own work, in their own internal life, whatever they had going on, they just got so focused on their parts and their pieces of the puzzle. Literally, he's got the chess piece, right? And she's got the piece in her hand that, oh my gosh, okay, this is speaking to me deeper and deeper as it goes. They both have the pieces that they're needing. They've been focused on these pieces, not, but it's coming through that they have way more than that, way more. It feels important that as we go, as we acknowledge this and begin to deepen the connection and the awareness and honoring that sacred inner child essence, allowing ourselves to receive the results of the work, but also dropping into receiving the love, the reciprocity, the camaraderie, but the joy, the playfulness. This feels so, so important that we move into restoring the fun and the joy and the playfulness back to our life, back to our hearts in the ways that we're not talking about. The type of fun was where we were suppressing our um ourselves, where we were going into dampening our energies or going into distortion or delusion or dissociation through addictions or drugs, or things that were actually taking us more and more out of our truth, right? But actually, as we're embodying into more and more of who we are, and we're showing up for ourselves, so we are in a much safer state to allow that divine sacred inner golden child to bloom and blossom within our heart. Okay, this feels very, very important. And it does actually feel, and I know this is coming through because the majority of you here with me are feminines, okay? Allowing yourself to receive the joy, because I know that you've been working hard. But regardless of what's happening in your life, regardless of where your masculine is on his journey, one of the most beautiful and sacred things you can do right now is allowing yourself to drop into joy, love, fun. And I think this is important. This goes for the feminines and the masculines because we've been told to focus on our purpose. And a lot of times we think that our purpose means our work and our service to the planet. And we think of that as a job, right? And that is part of it. But your bigger purpose is to be your full true self. Okay. And part of that is restoring and enlivening and feeding and holding that sacred inner child essence. Okay, loves, this feels incredibly important. It feels incredibly important. And I can already tell right here and right now, I'm going to be doing more with this. And so, right now, as we're sitting with it, I actually want to ask to bring in a message from our divine inner child essence. And I'm going to do that from the True Love deck. And let's see what our inner heart, our inner child, our playful hearts as a collective would like to bring forth to support us in allowing ourselves to open up to remembering those sacred blueprints and to remembering the joy and the truth inside of our hearts, because this is a very important seed that's needing to be fertilized and supported for the new earth energies. The joy is the playfulness. This is so incredibly important. It's like fertilizer for the seeds. Okay, loves, I can feel it. I can feel it. We got two. You can't. You really can't. You can't. Emotional freedom and reparenting yourself. Wow. Okay. Did we want some confirmation that we're going in the right direction? Holy wowza, sacred masculines. Thank you so very much. I was literally thinking about getting out the unicorn cards and I didn't have to. They came right through. Okay. So as we are learning these ways of reparenting ourselves, showing up for ourselves, those wounded, sore, traumatized parts of ourselves that we've been working with, as we're learning how to show up for ourselves and embody into that golden, sacred inner child essence, right? This is how we gain the emotional freedom to feel comfortable into embodying all of who we are. And this sacred child inner essence is a very, very important piece of inner union, my loves. Yes, I know that we work deeply in this collective with the internal masculine and feminine, but we cannot forget this very ultimate and important trifecta of the sacred inner child. Okay. It's coming to me to encourage you to think back to your love bubble phase. And I'm gonna bet that many of you, if not all of you, if you can tune back into that essence and the beauty of it, I'm gonna guess that if you really sit with it, it probably had the energy and the essence of your golden sacred inner child. The playfulness, the love, the innocence, the openness, the vulnerability, the intimacy, the absence of the pain and the suffering and the judgment and the projection and the pushing and the pulling, the restoration of that truth, the restoration of your natural nature, the one you were born with. Okay. This feels, I'm so excited that we're at this pocket in this collective right now. I can't even remotely express to you how excited I am that this is coming through. And I am looking forward to more messages to support this. I would love to hear from you how you're feeling with this, because I have to say, I know that we have done a lot of deep work and you guys have been expressing like the intensity of the roller coaster. But I want to acknowledge that it is your bandwidth and your strength and your ability to navigate the extremes and the roller coaster and maintain some sense of stability that is allowing this inner sacred child. This is how you're reparenting. And as you're reparenting, this is when the inner child feels safe to come home. And as the inner child feels safe to come home, the sacred masculine feels safe to come home. That just came through right now. Okay. So this golden inner child is a very, very, very important bridge to remembering the true blueprints and moving forward swiftly into our dreams. If you were looking for somewhere to focus, loves deepen into not only reparenting yourself, but restoring the joy and the playfulness and the innocence. And if you're feeling like you want to resist it, or you find some fears in your system around allowing yourself to drop into this, that's okay. I've actually found this to be a little bit normal. because when we've experienced lots of different hurts over time, we do build up, or some of us have built up those defense mechanisms, but that's okay. This is some of the parts you can reparent yourself with. I'm definitely here to support you in that if you feel guided, okay? If you need a little bit of extra love, I got you. But with it, it's really about finding that middle ground of feeling protected, okay? So that you do feel safe. It's not about getting rid of the protection. It's about dissolving the mechanisms that are keeping away the love. You feel me? So imagine this world, this energy, this bubble of love, right? Where you're protected, you're safe, you're aligned with your truth and your standards. You're moving into and embodying your original core soul blueprint and your natural nature. And as a byproduct of that, your inner child is safe to come home and open up and feel vulnerable and intimate in the proper boundaries. And as you open up within the proper protection, it will allow this emotional freedom to come forth, and it'll allow the counterparts to come back into physical world connection and communication. Okay. Yeah. We're going to leave that there because there was a lot there. This is beautiful. I'm very grateful for the masculines asking to come forward today. And they continuously blow me away with their gorgeous insights and information. And I'm very grateful to be connected to this collective here on the channel. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will drop yesterday's video and my schedule in the pinned comment. I would love to hear from you as always. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, loves.